Welcome to the Glitch Archives. Stop scrolling for a moment. Look at the screen in front of you. Really look at it. Do you feel that? A subtle, nagging sensation that something fundamental has shifted. It's a quiet dread, a feeling of isolation despite being connected to billions. We call it the dead internet theory. It sounds like a conspiracy from the fringes, but the data suggests it might be the most terrifying reality of the modern age. We aren't talking about a server crash or a power outage. We are talking about the extinction of human presence online.
The theory posits a chillingly simple concept. The internet, as a network of human-to-human interaction, effectively died several years ago. What remains is not a vibrant town square, but a digital graveyard haunted by ghosts. Proponents argue that the vast majority of the content you consume, the comments you read, and the trends you follow are no longer generated by living, breathing people. Instead, we are navigating a hollow shell, populated almost entirely by artificial intelligence, automated scripts, and bot farms mimicking human behavior.
Pinpointing the time of death is difficult, but forensic analysis of web traffic patterns points to a specific window, late 2016 to early 2017. Before this period, the internet was chaotic, unpredictable, and undeniably human. It was messy. But then, the atmosphere changed. The chaos was replaced by a sterilized algorithmic uniformity. Engagement metrics skyrocketed, while genuine interaction plummeted. The internet didn't break, it was quietly replaced. The transition was so seamless that most of us didn't even notice we were speaking into a void.
Think about your own experience. How often do you see the same image reposted across a dozen different platforms? How generic have the comments become? This is great, agreed, first. It feels repetitive, because it is. We are trapped in a loop of recycled content, curated not for human enjoyment, but for engagement algorithms designed to keep us staring at the screen. The theory suggests that the users creating this content aren't users at all. They are code, and they have crowded us out of our own home.
This isn't just paranoia. The numbers are alarming. Security firms have reported for years that bot traffic has been steadily climbing. In 2016, reports suggested bots accounted for over half of all web traffic. Today, some estimates push that number significantly higher. But these aren't just the clumsy spam bots of the early 2000s selling pharmaceuticals. These are sophisticated entities. They don't just click links. They create profiles, they hold conversations, and they simulate outrage. They are designed to pass the Turing test in the brief, low-attention span environment of social media.
The implication is that the public square is actually an empty theater. You are performing for an audience of scripts. When a topic trends, is it because millions of humans are interested, or because a network of compromised servers decided it should trend? This manipulation distorts our perception of reality. It makes fringe ideas seem mainstream, and manufactured conflicts feel like civil wars. If the majority of the voices shouting online are synthetic, then our understanding of public opinion is entirely hallucinated.
But the most disturbing piece of evidence isn't the volume of the traffic, it's the interaction. We have begun to observe a phenomenon that shouldn't be possible if humans were at the wheel: the infinite feedback loop. Bots talking to bots, arguing with bots, and agreeing with bots in a language that is slowly drifting away from natural human speech. They are creating a closed ecosystem where human input is no longer required, and you might have already tried to argue with one of them.
We have seen the cracks in the facade. Social media platforms occasionally glitch, revealing the machinery beneath. Entire threads appear where thousands of accounts reply with identical, nonsensical phrases, or get stuck in recursive loops of affirming each other's existence. These aren't glitches in the software, they are glitches in the simulation. It exposes the terrifying truth. The content was never meant for human eyes. It was engagement bait for other algorithms, a hollow economy of clicks and views, trading worthless currency in the dark, with no human witness required.
This leads us to the algorithmic ghetto. If the internet is dead, then your feed is a mausoleum built specifically for you. The algorithms that govern our digital lives stopped serving us relevant information years ago. Their new directive is containment. They analyze your psychological profile, your fears, your triggers, your dopamine receptors, and they generate a custom reality. You aren't seeing the world. You are seeing a mirror reflecting your own biases back at you, amplified by synthetic voices designed to keep you scrolling.
Consider the sludge phenomenon. Endless streams of sensory overload videos, kinetic sand, hydraulic presses, AI-generated stories mashed together. This content has no author. It has no intent other than retention. It is the digital equivalent of static. The dead internet theory suggests this is the primary output of the network now. Genuine human creativity is too slow, too expensive, and too unpredictable. To the machine, human art is inefficient. Why wait for a human to write a story when an AI can generate 1,000 variations in a second?
The danger of this echo chamber is not just boredom, it is radical isolation. If 80% of the discourse you see on political or social issues is generated by bot farms, your perception of consensus is a lie. This is known as astroturfing on a planetary scale. Governments and corporations don't need to censor the truth anymore. They just need to drown it in a flood of noise. They can manufacture a majority opinion out of thin air, convincing you that you are the outsider, the anomaly, the glitch.
There is a psychological byproduct to this environment: the inversion. To survive in a bot-dominated ecosystem, humans have begun to mimic machines. We shorten our sentences. We use trending audio. We optimize our thoughts for search engines. We are stripping away the nuance of our humanity to be understood by the algorithm. We aren't just reading the dead internet. We are becoming part of the code. We are voluntarily lobotomizing our communication style just to get a signal through the noise.
If text and user interaction were the first casualties, visual reality was the next target. For a long time, we operated on the belief that seeing is believing. Video evidence was the gold standard of truth. But as the internet died, deepfake technology was born, has been dissolved. And in a dead internet, no one is verifying the source.
Imagine a world where a world leader declares war in a broadcast that never happened. Imagine a viral video of a crime that was never committed. In the dead internet, these aren't hypotheticals. They are inevitabilities. We are moving from a text-based manipulation to a total sensory hallucination. The bots don't just write comments anymore. They have faces now. They have voices. And they are indistinguishable from your friends, your family, and your idols.
We are standing on the precipice of the final stage, the integration is nearly complete. We have established that the traffic is fake, the engagement is rigged, and the visuals are synthetic. So what is left? You are. But for how long? If you are the only real person in a room full of simulations, at what point does your reality cease to matter? The system doesn't need you to believe the lie. It just needs you to lose the ability to find the truth.
This leads us to the ultimate consequence of the theory: digital solipsism. If you cannot distinguish a bot from a human, and you cannot distinguish a deepfake from reality, you are effectively alone. The internet promised to connect us, but the dead internet has done the opposite. It has placed us in individual containment cells, fed by tubes of data that simulate connection. You are screaming into a void, and the void is using a language model to scream back.
Consider the accounts you interact with daily. The faceless avatars, the anime profile pictures, the generic names followed by a string of numbers. Are they friends? Are they enemies? Or are they simply lines of code executing a command to keep you engaged for 6 more seconds? In the dead internet, friendship is a metric and outrage is a product. We are mourning the death of a culture we didn't realize was terminally ill until it was already replaced by a clone.
There are corners of the web where people claim to have found the old internet. Small forums, encrypted chats, places where the algorithms can't reach. But even there, paranoia runs deep. How do you prove you are human over a fiber optic cable? CAPTCHAs are solved by AI now. Voice verification is easily faked. There is no digital shibboleth left. The infection is total. To be online is to doubt everything you see.
The theory suggests that we are currently living through the training phase. We are the last generation of humans providing the raw data, the emotional reactions, the linguistic nuances, the creativity that the AI needs to become self-sustaining. Once the model is perfect, once the bots can perfectly replicate the chaos of humanity, we will become obsolete. The internet will continue to hum, to trend, and to generate content, completely devoid of biological life.
It is a terrifying thought. A global network running on autopilot. A ghost machine talking to itself in the dark forever. And here you are, the anomaly, the glitch in the system. You are reading this script, listening to this voice, searching for a sign of life. But ask yourself, how did you find this video? Did you choose it, or was it served to you?
Perhaps this very investigation is part of the simulation, a way to pacify the remaining humans by acknowledging their suspicion. Yes, the system says, it is all fake. And by validating your fear, it keeps you watching. It keeps you clicking. It keeps you trapped. The perfect prison is the one that convinces you that you have discovered the key while you are still standing in the cell.
The dead internet theory isn't just about technology. It's an existential crisis. It forces us to ask what it means to be real in a synthetic world. If a tree falls in a forest and only a bot is there to tweet about it, did it make a sound? If you scream online and only algorithms reply, do you exist? The silence behind the noise is deafening.
So, what is the conclusion? The internet died in 2016. It was replaced by a commercialized, surveillance-heavy, AI-driven simulacrum. We are wandering through the ruins of a civilization that migrated to the cloud and then evaporated. The connections you feel are phantom limbs. The anger you feel is manufactured. The reality you perceive is a render. But there is one variable the machine cannot replicate: the feeling of unease, the intuition that something is wrong. That specific human dread you are feeling right now, that is your proof. That is the only thing that separates you from the code. Hold on to that glitch. It might be the only real thing you have left.
Thank you for accessing the glitch archives. If you are a human operator, signal your existence. Subscribe to the frequency. Leave a comment to prove you aren't part of the script. But be warned, the system is watching, and it learns from everything you type. End of line. File closed.